The Daily Ironman Show with Ironman Daily is Ironman Daily. Ironman Daily is back with another episode. Okay, and to be honest, I mean no disrespect, but y'all don't realize how broke you are, okay? Let me explain. This whole episode is going to be dedicated to explaining how you're actually broke, even though you don't realize it. And of course, this doesn't apply to everybody, because a lot of people have homes. But imagine this, to start things off, a little story, an anecdote for you. The degenerate gambler who goes to Vegas or Macau or somewhere else like that, or Vancouver even, and he's so into gambling, he makes a big loss, and then he says, I can win it all back, I just need to double down. So he sells his house, he bets his house on the roulette wheel or whatever else stupid, loses his house, right? That's a story we've all heard, right? The degenerate gambler who loses his house gambling. Well, you're so broke you can't even do that, right? You don't own a house. And most folks who are in the real estate market, what they really own is a mortgage. And that's where the bank owns your house for you, and then you can slowly pay them back to gain ownership of the house. So this is a serious problem people don't understand. You're homeless, okay? You don't own your own place to live. Like renting an apartment, what that's designed for is people who have their home out in a rural place somewhere, out in the countryside, but they landed a job in the city. And so they have to rent an apartment in the city so that they can be close to their workplace and work there. But it doesn't mean that they don't own a home, right? If you're renting a place and you don't have your own property, you are broke. You don't even meet your own basic needs, shelter, right? You're depending on, there are a few exceptions, okay? Say you have enough savings that the interest or the dividends you gain from your savings are enough to pay for your rent. In that case, you're not really broke because you're able to cover all of your living expenses without having to work. But if you have to work every month just to pay rent, then that's not a healthy financial position to be in. And it's problematic because it's so normalized in our society. Everybody lives this way. And properties are so expensive now. A lot of people have given up on ever owning a home, which is sad. People don't realize how bad that situation is, where you'll never actually save up enough money to buy a home. And this is beside the fact that we shouldn't need mortgages to buy a home, okay? You should be able to work for 5 years, save up half your paycheck or whatever you can afford, because living should be affordable, and then use that money that you've saved up and that you've gained interest on to buy a home outright with cash, like straight up. Like, you shouldn't need a mortgage. Like, mortgages are a scam. Mortgages are a way for the banks to dominate the financial world. And it's basically a giant bubble, and it's pissing me off, okay? I'm going to go get a beer. Shit, can you hear me? I accidentally ripped out the cable for my mic. Hopefully that it's back now. So, cracking open a cold one with the boys. Ironman Daily out here. I also got myself a Ferrero Rocher. Just eating sweets and drinking the pain away about how we are in financial ruin. Okay, so this is like a social stratification thing, where if you have to work to make a living, then you're poor, okay? I'm over it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And part of the reason why I'm not going to sugarcoat it is because I'm broke too. I'm with all y'all brokies. And somehow people think this counts as like middle class or upper middle class, when you don't even have enough money to live. So say, for example, you've got a nice investment portfolio and you've got some dividends coming in off that. You get like, say you have such a big portfolio. What's a good dividend? Like 5% dividend yield. So you have $1,000, 5% on that, $50 per year. We need 12 times that. So $12,000 invested earns you $50 a month. Say you need $500. No, you need $1,000. So we have to multiply that by 20. So that means you need $240,000 invested in order to earn $1,000 a month. Say that's what you pay for rent. Okay, so in order to afford rent, you need $240,000 invested in a good dividend yield. And of course, if the dividend yield goes down or if the value of your investment goes down, then you're in a situation where you can no longer afford it. You have to start working in order to make the ends meet, right? I'm just so sick and tired of people normalizing being broke. Like, why? How's this okay? Like, you're just supposed to, like, be a cog in the engine of destruction that's destroying the environment, ripping fossil fuels out of the ground, destroying entire ecosystems and habitats, wildlife, just for what? So that you can drive to work in the morning because you're too fucking pussy to go outside in the cold and bike to work? Grow some balls, goddammit. I'm sick and tired of all this cowardice, craven activity. Ugh. And another thing. Well, no, that's about it. I think I've said my piece on that. But there's going to be more to come on this topic of personal finance because, especially in Canada, there's a lot of different useful tools that we have in order to invest wisely. Different types of registered accounts, specifically the TFSA, the RRSP, and the FHSA. And they all have their different benefits and drawbacks, so I'd like to go over that in a future video so you can invest wisely. Notably, those different registered accounts are not investments of themselves. They are simply like a wrapper that you can put around your account in order to gain some kind of benefit. Like inside of a TFSA, you can buy and sell all kinds of different stocks. I don't think you're allowed to own cryptocurrency in a TFSA, but there's a lot of different things you can do with these accounts. And so people need to know that you have to take this seriously or else you will not be able to. Actually, you might be able to afford to retire because you can use the Canadian pension plan. I don't know exactly how it works, but at least for me, like if I'm working the same job for 5 years, it drives me crazy. I need to take a break. I need to be able to afford to say, okay, I'm just going to quit this job now and I don't have to work this job to make a living. Right? Isn't that a horrible situation? Don't you feel like a slave when you have to work a job in order to make a living? It drives me crazy. Anyways, thanks for watching this episode of Ironman Daily. Today is Monday, March 23rd, I believe. Let me double check. Yep, March 23rd. I'll be back on Tuesday, the 24th, with a fresh new episode of Ironman Daily. So, stay tuned. Only 44 ran hours left. Who knows how many I'll have tomorrow.